Hey, Utah here. It is the 5th of July and we are down on the Yuba River. We came down here yesterday for the 4th, spend a day doing a little bit of panning and sniping on the river. It's a pretty cool place. This is the Edwards Crossing Bridge on the Yuba. It's about 20 minutes from Nevada City. Easy drive, nice paved road. And when you get down here, there's actually a really nice bridge that crosses it. It'll take you up and over to, there's a campground over there, even though it's always full. We didn't camp there, but it is a nice campground. They had a good high water year this year, but by now, on the 5th of July, you can see the water is pretty low and slow. It's still pretty cold. If you want to come work it and spend any considerable time in the water, you're going to need to have a wetsuit. But it's a fun, popular place for people to come and swim and hang out, a real family destination. You can see kids playing on the rocks and throwing rocks and stuff. If you're into wildlife, another good spot. We saw snakes swimming on the water. Wife and kids actually watched one catch a fish and eat it. I've seen very large crawdads. The trout in some of these pools are pretty good size. Anyway, so there's a lot to see and do here in terms of wildlife and swimming and fishing and all kinds of stuff, although I would warn against eating the fish here. Years of mining have left a lot of mercury in the river, but there are big fish here if you want to catch some fish. Now we were working upstream over here yesterday. Over here. We were working up here, probably a quarter of a mile up, just around the bend. I found some nice bedrock. We'll show you a picture of that in just a minute. There's trails come up both sides, so you can hike up or down wherever you want. Pretty good river access. And it's starting to get warm, so I'll get suited up in my wetsuit and we'll meet you down at the river and show you what we're doing. Just one little note, or a note of caution. As family oriented as this place is, this is also a common spot for naturalists who want to come and go skinny dipping. Generally, they go upriver, one or two bends. If you just stay close to the bridge, you won't see any of that. If you go beyond that, well, you've been warned. So, enter at your own risk. All right, here's the sign that we have at the South Yuba River panning area. It says gold seeking, hands and pans only is the only tools you may use. There is no digging with shovels or other hand tools, and you can only pan stream run gravel, never from dry areas. What they're saying is you can have a pan, you can have your hand, no shovels, no pry bars, no hammers, nothing you can actually use to dig. It's kind of a joke, because you really can't dig any gravel that has any gold with your hands. But you have to get onto bedrock and into bedrock if you want anything. So I'm not going to tell you what to do or not to do. This is kind of a joke. And how you interpret this is kind of up to you. But that's the rules that they want to see enforced in the South Yuba area. And if you do violate this, you are running the risk of whatever penalty a park ranger might want to give you. So you're warned. Alright, so this is where we were working yesterday. This bedrock right here. It's really nice. There's a lot of cracks and stuff all through it. And what it looks to me like is this is old ancient bedrock that was just exposed by the river. And because it was just high enough and that the river didn't cover it and clean to bedrock, it's never really been worked and opened. I'm not getting nuggets in here. I've gotten a couple of nice sized flakes out of this hole right here. But every time I break open one of these little cracks, I get 2 or 3 small flakes falling out of it. So I've just been breaking it back and moving on, suck them up, keep going. And I've got this entire platform here that goes probably 30 yards that way. And it's all the same stuff. And it's old, intact bedrock. I guess you'd call it almost regolith. It's broken but in place with little tiny micro seams of clay and sand in between them, and that's where I'm getting the gold. So we're going to take a couple hours here and poke around and see if the gold continues, and we'll show you what we get when we're done, after which I might move downstream or back again upstream where I was yesterday and see if I can find any real cracks. This river does seem to be, it seems like the river itself has been worked really hard, and some of the best gold I've seen has actually come off the bedrock here. I was watching a YouTube video filmed 2 weeks ago. It was 1 or 2 bends down, it was 1 or 2 bends upriver, and they were pulling out, I think, 2 grams a day roughly, including a 1 gram nugget, and it was actually off of the stuff above the water line. But if you look, there's lots of rock and sand and gravel up here on the benches, and pretty much nobody moves that to open the cracks. Whereas in the river here, it has been dredged again and again and again over the last 50 years. And then guys like me come in and do sniping and stuff. Most of the big good cracks in here have already been opened. If you look, there still are some, but they're hard to find. So there's actually really good gold coming off these banks as well. Just really hard to work with that no tools rule that they're trying to enforce here on the river. But we're going to jump in and see what we can find in here, and wish me luck. I'm hoping for at least a little nugget. Got a nice flake. It's right here, right at the very beginning. It's going to be a good day, I think. Yep, there's more. Yeah, there's another nice one right here. This stuff, it's really hard to see because there's a kind of an algae that's growing on all these rocks. Just take your head and rub it, and it'll just come off, and then you can see any of the cracks or crevices. As I open them, these flakes are just falling out. I'm not getting rich, but they're consistent, just one after another. So it's pretty good. Okay, we're all done. It's a little after 5:30 in the afternoon. I've spent pretty much the entire day just right over there on the other side of the river. Worked up a couple of cracks. They're actually heading into the bank where it got real sandy. I was still getting gold. In fact, it was getting bigger and better, but there was too much sand coming in. I had to give it up. But towards the end of the day, it kind of started to peter out. So we're tired. We're going to see what we got. I don't know how much I did, but I know we got a couple of nice flakes. lot of lead in here. That's how the bottle stays down in the water. Pick that up. Alright. You see one nice flake here. Alright, and that's what I got for today. I'm not rich, but not too shabby. You see there's a few silver ones, a little bit of mercury in there. There's the big one. Doesn't really want to suck up.
Too big to suck up. That's good.
That one actually found right up against the bank. I moved a bunch of sand aside. It was just sitting there on bedrock. Well, some of this gold's probably float gold from the floods this spring. Oh, there's another one I missed. Alright, that should about do it. But that's the gold from the Yuba River. This is the South Fork of the Yuba River. It's a state park. It's free. We're just parked right up here, up the canyon. It's probably, depending on which trail you take, a 2 or a 5-minute walk down to the river. Tons and tons of bedrock. Really popular place just for swimming and boating, and you know, I see people out with masks and snorkels. One guy said he had fins. Popular place, great summertime activity, and the gold here, not too bad. They're still finding nuggets. I didn't find one today, but there is still gold here, and it is worth digging for. So from the South Fork of the Yuba, we'll see you down the trail.